Stranger, I welcome you back to the channel. It is very valuable for me to have you here today. We found out that Pablo Escobar had a daughter and we wanted to investigate a bit about her. That is why today I want to invite you to enjoy this video and not miss any detail of the summary of her tragic life. Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria marries Victoria Eugenia Henao Vallejo on May 25, 1984. They have a daughter named Manuela Escobar Henao, who is the youngest in the family. Without a doubt, even though Pablo was a person with a very strong heart, his weakness was his charming daughter, who to this day still has the opportunity to lead a normal life. Yes, let's not get ahead of ourselves and start from the beginning. Pablo Escobar was not with his children what he could be with anyone else. In fact, he even indulged and pampered them until they got tired. Of the two children, Manuela was always Pablo's favorite, and she didn't even need to ask for something before she already had it in her hands. What a pleasure, right? Even if you don't believe it, you might not know this story, but when it was time to listen as a family, Manuela enjoyed those escapes from the authorities, innocently thinking it was just a simple game. On one occasion, when they had to flee to the mountainside in Medellín, Pablo, to prevent his daughter from getting cold, decided to burn more than $2 million in cash. Without a doubt, this display of affection is not something any father can do. On Christmas, little Manuela received a unicorn she had asked for. It turned out that this unicorn was a white horse with a horn stapled on and wings added to its torso with paper to simulate the mythical creature. Without a doubt, it is clear that little Manuela greatly enjoyed the gifts and extravagances that her father, the boss, gave her simply to offer the best to his daughter. On the other hand, the horse, over time, being delicate creatures, suffered infections due to all the modifications made to it that Christmas and died shortly after. At the Nápoles estate, the Escobar family had a personalized zoo which only little Manuela could enjoy, as the construction of this zoo was primarily done by her father's orders just for her. When she was little, her father, among his many opportunities to spoil his daughter, made her believe that the Tooth Fairy was a millionaire, and that's why he gave her briefcases with thousands of dollars in exchange for a baby tooth. A small note in the story, for those from other countries who don't know who the Raton Pérez is, in other countries it is also known as the Tooth Fairy. We continue. Despite all the beautiful things little Manuela Escobar could experience, her life was still a ticking time bomb. What do I mean? Well, little Manuela Escobar lost the ability to hear in one ear after an explosion resulting from an attack on her father. It was here when little Manuela already knew that not everything was going to be as easy as her father was making it seem. Stranger, remember that if you are enjoying the video, you can subscribe, leave your like and hit the notification bell to enjoy our amazing content. On December 2nd, 1993, the father of little Manuela had died in a shootout with the national police. After this death, the Escobar family, along with little Manuela, had to flee Colombia in 1994, starting their journey through Mozambique, then to Brazil, and moving from country to country seeking asylum. They even attempted to go to the United States and Germany, an attempt that was thwarted by the governments of these countries, as they had a history that did not benefit them at all. Once the visa was rejected in these countries, the Escobar family ended up staying in Argentine territory thanks to visitor visas, to then end up requesting asylum in Argentina as citizens in exile from Colombia. Finally, after some arduous searches, the Escobar family managed to settle in the country with the opportunity to have a new life from anonymity. Something that was complicated for little Manuela, as she tried to lead a normal life attending a school where she could complete her studies. On one occasion at her school, the teacher suggested that the students choose the protagonist of the 20th century. Some students choose themselves, others choose Hitler, and a classmate decides on Escobar, the 20th century drug trafficker. Without a doubt, this event reflected a small window to the past for little Manuela. However, she simply had to listen in silence to what was being said. It was here that she decided to avoid staying in the public eye and keep a low profile. Despite having a new chance at life, the Escobar family continued with illegal activities, although not following the same steps as the father of the family. The widow tried to start a business to launder money. When the partner found out about this and who he was doing business with, he didn't miss the chance to scam her and report her to the authorities. This event led Manuela's mother behind bars. Despite the arrival of this family in Argentine lands, opportunities had not stopped arising, as Manuela had to turn to lawyers who gave her the chance to provide service to free her mother from jail in a matter of days. This led Manuela to tell her family that she did not want to return to the public eye scandal, as she had suffered too much after the loss of her father, which had plunged her into a world where her reality was different from everything she had been experiencing since childhood. Years passed and, although her brother and mother remained in the public eye, Manuelita's profile stayed low enough to ask her mother to finish her studies from home, refused to maintain constant friendships with her new acquaintances in the country, and even distance herself from personal relationships. Ultimately, she completely limited all types of relationships to maintain the lowest profile possible. O siya, matame, nenende siya. Despite so much effort, in 2019, she was seen leaving her house and getting into her personal vehicle. It is said that she was heading to the company her mother founded and that they have been so successful that the profits of this company exceed $1.5 million. Do you think this sudden success of the company is related to her father's legacy? If so, let me know in the comments. Alright stranger, that will be all for today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to see more content. I say goodbye and see you in a future video.